20 Amish vegetable gardening hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. The Amish have been gardening for centuries. No chemicals, no fancy tools, just pure old-fashioned know-how. They grow vegetables like their ancestors did, strong, healthy, and full of flavor. No shortcuts, just patience. You ever wonder why their gardens are always so lush, so perfect? Well, it's not luck. It's knowledge. Wisdom passed down from generation to generation. And today, you're going to learn it too. 1. Heirloom seeds only. Always. The Amish don't mess with hybrid seeds. Nope. They stick to heirlooms. Seeds with history. Seeds that have been in their families for decades, sometimes even centuries. They believe in preserving tradition. They save seeds from the best plants every season, ensuring that the next generation of crops is just as strong, if not stronger, than the last. And here's the thing. Heirloom vegetables, they taste better. Juicier tomatoes, crunchier cucumbers, sweeter carrots. You ever bitten into a store-bought tomato and thought, wow, this tastes like nothing? That's because it probably came from hybrid seeds, bred for looks, not flavor. The Amish would never. They know better. They understand that good food starts at the seed level. And the best seeds? They don't come in packets from big corporations. They come from the soil, from the past, from careful hands that know exactly how to preserve what nature intended. 2. Rotate your crops or pay the price. Imagine planting the same thing in the same spot every year, over and over. What happens? The soil gets tired, worn out, depleted, and then your plants? They suffer. The Amish don't let that happen. They follow a strict crop rotation system, moving different plant families to different areas each season. One year it's corn, the next it's beans. The year after that, maybe leafy greens. Why? Because every plant takes something different from the soil, and some, like beans and peas, even give nutrients back. It's a natural cycle, a balance. Mess it up, and suddenly you've got weak crops, more pests, and disease running wild. The Amish avoid all that. They keep their soil rich, their plants healthy. And they do it without chemicals, without artificial fertilizers, just by working with nature instead of against it. 3. The secret weapon, companion planting. You ever heard of best friends in the garden? Because plants have them, and enemies too. The Amish? They know this better than anyone. They don't just throw seeds into the dirt and hope for the best. No, every plant has a purpose. Every placement is intentional. Tomatoes and basil, best friends. Basil makes tomatoes taste better and keeps bugs away. Carrots and onions, a perfect pair. The onions keep pests off the carrots, and the carrots keep the soil soft for the onions. But plant beans near onions? Big mistake. They stun each other's growth. The Amish have learned all this through experience, through generations of watching, experimenting, understanding. It's a delicate dance, this companion planting thing. But when done right, it's magic. Less pests, healthier plants, bigger harvests, all without a single drop of pesticide. 4. Mulch like your garden depends on it because it does. The sun beats down, the soil dries up, weeds creep in, stealing nutrients, choking out your vegetables. Sound familiar? The Amish have a simple fix. Mulch. Lots of it. Thick layers of straw, dried leaves, wood chips, whatever they have on hand. It locks in moisture, keeping the soil damp even on the hottest days. Keeps weeds from sprouting too, because if they can't see the sun, they can't grow. And as it breaks down, it feeds the soil. Natural fertilizer. No chemicals. No fuss. Just good, old-fashioned nature taking care of itself. The Amish mulch religiously. Their gardens? Lush, thriving. Yours could be too, if you mulch like your vegetables' lives depend on it. Because honestly, they do. 5. Plant by the moon. Yes, really. Sounds like folklore, right? Something out of an old farmer's almanac. but the Amish swear by it. They plant according to the moon phases. Root crops like potatoes and carrots, they go in the ground during the waning moon when the light is fading. Leafy greens and above-ground crops, they get planted during the waxing moon when the moon is growing. Why? Some say it's superstition. Others say it's science. Something about how the moon's gravitational pull affects water in the soil, just like it affects the tides. Either way, the Amish have been doing this for generations. And their harvests? They speak for themselves. 6. The magic of manure and compost. You ever seen an Amish farm? Dark, rich soil. Crops standing tall, vibrant, bursting with life. No synthetic fertilizers. Just compost and manure. Horse manure, cow manure, even chicken manure, aged until it's black gold. They spread it over their fields, mix it into their garden beds, let it sink deep into the earth. Kitchen scraps, 2 potato peels, eggshells, coffee grounds. Nothing goes to waste. Everything feeds the soil. And the result? Vegetables packed with nutrients. Flavors so rich, they make store-bought produce taste like cardboard. 7. The Amish war on weeds. No herbicides, no chemicals, just hands, hose, and determination. The Amish don't let weeds take over. They pull them by hand, pull them out early before they take hold. Sometimes they even let their chickens roam the garden, pecking at the tiny weeds before they can grow big. It's constant work, but that's the point. They don't wait until weeds are a problem. They prevent them, stay ahead of them. And their reward? A garden that's clean, organized, thriving. 8. Raised beds, a secret to better growth. You ever noticed how some gardens just seem to flourish while others struggle? Sometimes it's all in how you plant. The Amish often use raised beds, higher, looser soil that drains better, warms up faster in the spring, and lets roots spread deep. No waterlogging, no compacted soil suffocating the plants. Just healthy, breathable earth. And the difference? Night and day. 9. Nature knows best, so work with it. At the end of the day, this is the Amish way. They don't force nature to bend to their will. They don't dump chemicals on their soil and hope for the best. They observe. They listen. They learn. They plant at the right time, in the right place, with the right companions. They feed the soil, protect the plants, and let nature do what it does best, grow. And it works. 10. More secrets from the Amish garden. There's so much more. Rainwater collection for irrigation. Cold frames for winter gardening. Chickens in the garden to eat bugs. Homemade sprays made from garlic and soap to keep pests away. Deep planting for drought resistance. Interplanting flowers to attract bees. The list goes on. The Amish don't overcomplicate things. They don't rely on machines, chemicals, or factory farming. They garden like their ancestors did. And you know what? It still works. Better than ever. 11. Deep planting for drought resistance. The Amish way. The sun is relentless. The soil cracks. Water is scarce. Your plants droop, desperate for moisture. Sound familiar? This is where the Amish outsmart nature. They plant deep, deeper than most people would. Tomatoes? Buried right up to their lowest leaves, encouraging roots to grow stronger, longer, deeper. Beans? Planted deep enough to chase moisture buried far below the surface. Corn? Same story. Why? Because deep roots don't dry out as quickly. They tap into hidden water reserves long after shallow-rooted plants have given up. While other gardens wilt under the summer heat, Amish crops keep standing tall. Green, vibrant, thriving. Because they're not just surviving, they're built to last. 12. Cover crops, feeding the soil even in the off-season. When summer's over and most people leave their garden beds bare, the Amish, they plant cover crops. Rye, clover, buckwheat, something that will grow through the winter, covering the soil like a blanket. And in the spring, They till it under, letting it decompose right into the ground. Instant fertilizer. No store-bought bags. No synthetic boosters. Just nature replenishing itself. It's a cycle, a never-ending loop of give and take. The Amish don't strip their soil bare and expect it to keep producing. They give back. And because of that, their soil stays rich, fertile, full of life year after year. 13. Rainwater collection, because every drop matters. Water bills? The Amish don't have them. They don't need them. Because while everyone else hoses down their gardens with treated tap water, they're saving rainwater in barrels, cisterns, and underground storage. When the skies open up, they don't let that water run off into the ditches. They collect it, store it, use it when the dry spells hit. No chlorine, no chemicals, just pure, natural rainwater straight from the sky. And the plants? They love it. They grow better, faster, healthier. It's simple. Water is life. And the Amish? They don't waste a drop. 14. Vertical gardening, growing up, not out. Space is limited. Not everyone has acres of land to work with. But the Amish? They don't let that stop them. They grow up. Cucumbers climbing wooden trellises. Beans reaching skyward on corn stalks. Tomatoes staked high instead of sprawling across the ground. It's efficient. It keeps air moving around the plants, reducing disease. It saves space, letting them plant more in less room. And harvesting? Easier. No bending, no digging, no searching through tangled vines. Everything's right there, hanging in the open, ready to be picked. It's smart. It's effective. And it's how they make the most of every square inch. 15. Homemade pest sprays. No chemicals, just nature. The Amish don't spray their gardens with lab-made chemicals. They don't need to. Instead, they mix up their own. Garlic, onions, cayenne pepper, all blended into a natural, fiery spray that sends pests running. Dish soap and water works like a charm against aphids. A simple mix of vinegar and salt stops weeds in their tracks. They don't buy fancy bottles with warning labels and fine print. They don't need hazmat suits to handle their pest control. Just a few kitchen ingredients, a little know-how, and a belief that nature already has the answers. 16. Flowers in the garden? It's not just for looks. Walk into an Amish garden and you'll notice something. Flowers. Everywhere. Bright, beautiful blooms mixed in with the vegetables. And it's not just because they look nice. No, they have a job to do. Sunflowers attract bees, which boost pollination. Marigolds keep nematodes away from tomatoes. Nasturtiums repel aphids, whiteflies, and squash bugs. These flowers? They're workers, not just decoration. The Amish plant them with purpose. They don't separate flowers from food. They let them work together. And a result? A healthier, more balanced ecosystem. A garden buzzing with life. 17. No-till gardening, the Amish secret to soil health. Tilling seems like a good idea, right? Break up the soil, mix in nutrients, get things ready for planting. But here's what the Amish know. Every time you till, you disturb the natural structure of the soil. You destroy the delicate network of fungi, bacteria, and microorganisms that keep the ground fertile. So instead, they let the soil be. They add compost on top, let worms do the work, and let nature take its course. No backbreaking labor. No machine churning the earth into dust. Just healthy, living soil that stays that way year after year. 18. Hand tools over machines. The Amish way of working with nature. Gas-powered tillers? Tractors? Fancy garden gadgets? The Amish don't use them. They rely on simple hand tools, hoes, scythes, rakes. And they swear by them. Machines compact the soil. They burn fuel. They take away the connection between the gardener and the ground. But hand tools? They keep you close. Let you feel the soil. Let you understand your plants on a deeper level. And let's be honest, There's something satisfying about working with your hands. Something real. Something that can't be replaced by a machine. 19. Cold frames, extending the harvest into winter. Most gardens shut down when the first frost hits, but not Amish gardens. They use cold frames, simple wooden boxes with glass tops that trap heat from the sun. Lettuce, spinach, radishes, they keep growing, even when there's snow on the ground. It's like a mini greenhouse built from scraps, repurposed windows, whatever they can find. And it works. Fresh greens in the middle of winter, when everyone else is stuck with store-bought. The Amish? They don't just garden for a season. They garden year-round. 20. Chickens in the garden. Nature's pest control and fertilizer. Weeds? Gone. Insects? Devoured. Soil? Fertilized. The Amish let their chickens roam their gardens in the off-season. The birds scratch at the dirt, eating weed seeds before they sprout. They snack on insects, keeping pests in check without a single drop of pesticide. And the best part? Their droppings fertilize the soil, enriching it for next season's crops. It's a full circle system. The garden feeds the chickens. The chickens feed the garden. No waste, no chemicals, just nature doing what it was meant to do.